Today is one of those quiet days that will echo for centuries. When you read about history in books, it always sounds like thunder, like everyone involved knew the world was shifting beneath their feet. But out here, it just sounds like wagon wheels on dirt roads. In few hours, dozens of devout, respected men are going to gather in a meeting hall just down this street. They will open their Bibles, they will pray for wisdom, and then they are going to face a question that has been quietly fracturing them for years. The people walking past me right now have no idea what's about to happen inside that room. The men walking into that room don't fully grasp it either. But the decision they make today is going to echo long after they are gone.
Scripture does not condemn the institution itself.
Agreed, it clarifies everything.
I just heard a pastor say slavery and Christianity belong together. Nobody argues with him. Nobody looks uncomfortable. A few men even nod. For a moment, I convinced myself I misunderstood. These are pastors, missionaries, church leaders. The kind of men I expected to hear talking about Jesus.
If slaveholders cannot serve as missionaries, Southern churches should establish their own convention. Yes, agreed.
And suddenly, I'm not sure what I've walked into. Because outside this building, an enslaved man is unloading crates from a wagon. Inside this building, pastors are debating whether men who own him can represent Christ. The year is 1845. The city is Augusta, Georgia. And before this meeting is over, one of the largest Protestant denominations American history will be born. The question I can't stop asking is simple. How did the church get here? I keep noticing the same man. Gray hair, worn clothes, hands hardened by years of labor. Every time I look outside, he's there, working, waiting, watching. And every time I return to the meeting hall, the contrast gets harder to ignore. Inside are men discussing the future of the church. Outside is a man living under the system they're debating. Nobody seems surprised by any of this, which tells me something important. Slavery isn't hiding here. It's part of everyday life. The streets move around it. Businesses depend on it. Families build their lives around it. Even churches exist inside it. I thought I was coming to witness a church dispute. Now I'm realizing the dispute is happening inside a world built on slavery.
This compromise undermines the very foundation of our faith.
The more I listen, the more I realize the story didn't begin today. It didn't even begin this year. The split that's about to happen has been building for a long time. For years, Baptists across America worked together through national mission organizations, northern churches, southern churches, one cooperative effort, at least on paper. But outside these walls, America is changing. The abolition movement is growing in the North. Southern states are becoming more dependent on enslaved labor. The tension isn't staying in politics. It's entering churches.
They wish to impose northern opinions upon southern churches.
They ask us to choose between our convictions and cooperation.
The more these men talk, the clearer it becomes. Nobody believes this conflict appeared overnight. They believe it's been coming for years. Augusta isn't the beginning of the story. It's the breaking point.
The candidate from Georgia presents complications. He's passionate, but his methods. We must consider the implications for the mission itself. Exactly, this isn't just about faith.
I can't understand why everyone keeps discussing the same person. I hear fragments, names, arguments, pieces of larger story. Then, finally, it comes together. A missionary candidate from Georgia became the center of national controversy. Not because of bad theology, not because of scandal, not because denied the gospel. He owned slaves.
If a man owns slaves, he should not be appointed as a missionary.
If he is disqualified for that reason, then every Southern church stands condemned.
And there it is. The issue underneath everything. Northern mission leaders refuse to appoint slaveholders as missionaries. Southern leaders see that decision as an accusation against the South itself. What began as a missionary appointment has become something much larger. This isn't a debate about missions. It's a debate about whether slavery and Christian leadership can coexist. And I can't stop thinking about him, because every sentence spoken in this room somehow leads back to people like him. Yet nobody seems to be asking what people like him think. This may be the hardest part for me to understand. I expected to find people attacking Christianity. I expected to find people dismissing Scripture. I expected one side to sound faithful and the other side to sound reckless. Instead, both sides keep opening the same Bible.
The word of the Lord speaks plainly here. We must interpret it within the context of the new covenant. Context is truth, brother, but the text is absolute. The gospel calls us to see every person as made in the image of God.
No one here is claiming to reject
The scriptures
Christ.
regulate slavery.
No one here is trying
do
to
not
destroy
forbid it.
the church. These men pray together, worship together, believe the same gospel. Yet somehow, they have arrived at completely different conclusions. And that's what makes this moment so unsettling. Because the conflict isn't happening between Christians and non-Christians. It's happening between Christians. The deepest divisions often happen between people who believe they're defending the same truth. There he is again, the same man, the same tired eyes, the same worn hands. I don't know his name. No one tells me. But somehow, he keeps becoming part of this story. I recognize the tune. It's familiar. A song about trusting God. For a moment, the debates inside the building fade into the background. The resolutions, the speeches, the arguments. Gone. All of it disappears. And all I can hear is this man singing. The people being discussed inside the meeting may understand this story very differently than the people debating it. When I arrived this morning, I thought compromise might be possible. Now I'm not so sure. The conversations have become shorter, the positions more defined, the frustration harder to hide. Everyone seems to understand what is happening, even if they don't want to say it out loud.
We can no longer cooperate under these conditions. The mission board has left us no choice.
Something shifts. Not suddenly, not dramatically, just enough for everyone to feel it. The possibility of staying together begins slipping away. And once it starts, nobody seems able to stop it. Most historic turning points don't feel like explosions. They feel like doors quietly closing.
Mr. Chairman, we must insist upon the autonomy of our boards.
This is the moment people will remember. The gathering that creates a new convention, a new mission structure, a new organization, a new future. The Southern Baptist Convention is being born. Yet standing here, it doesn't feel triumphant. It feels complicated. Because every person in this room believes they're protecting something important. Some believe they're protecting biblical authority. Others believe they're protecting Southern churches. Some believe they're protecting the future of missions. No one seems to believe they're damaging the church.
We move forward together.
It is resolved, therefore, that this assembly is in complete and unified accord.
The people who shape history rarely realize how differently future generations will judge their decisions.
We cannot concede on this point, sir. The resolution stands as written, but the brethren in the South will never accept it.
The strange thing is that I know something. These men don't. I know the Civil War is coming. I know emancipation is coming. I know future generations will look back on this day and debate it for decades. I know historians will write books about these meetings. I know churches will wrestle with this legacy. But none of that visible from where they stand. They're living in the present. Just like everyone else. And suddenly a thought hits me. The people in this room aren't trying to become cautionary tales. They think they're making the right decision. That's what makes history so humbling. Because most people don't recognize their blind spots while they're living through them. Sincerity is not the same thing as clarity. History will remember many of the names inside that building. It will remember speeches, resolutions, leaders, founders. Most people will never know the name of the man outside. And yet he's the one I keep thinking about. Because every conversation inside that room somehow affected people like him. Yet almost nobody seemed interested in hearing from people like him. I'm home, at least physically. Part of me is still in Augusta. Part of me is still standing outside that meeting hall, still listening to those debates, still watching that man work. When I first arrived, I thought I was witnessing the birth of a denomination. Now that feels too simple. What I witnessed was a collision. Faith, culture, power, conviction, blind spots, all meeting in same room. The pastors believed they were protecting the future of church. Many were sincere. Many loved Scripture. Many genuinely wanted to serve God. Yet sincerity didn't keep them from missing something important. And that's the part I can't leave behind. Because every generation believes it sees clearly. Every generation assumes its blind spots belong to someone else. The people in Augusta weren't asking themselves that question. Maybe they should have. Maybe we should too. Because if faithful people in 1845 could miss something significant, what might we be missing today?